A big God. It's the perfect time to be transformed. I'm Mike Morrison with 2 minutes of insight and inspiration. Welcome to 2 Minute Transformation. You know, every time Jabez heard his name called, he was reminded that his was a life that caused pain. He had a reputation he couldn't live down, but he knew that only God could transform his life. So Jabez is remembered for two things. He's remembered as a better man than any of his brothers and as a man who prayed big prayers to a big God. Verse 10 of 1 Chronicles chapter 4 from the NLT begins, "He was the one who prayed to the God of Israel." Putting God at the very center of his life, Jabez prayed. But it's who Jabez prayed to that brought transformation to a life of pain, changing it into a life of honor and respect. 1 Chronicles 4:10 is very specific. He prayed to the God of Israel. There were no less cultural influences in his time than in ours. All around him are ideologies not consistent with the God of the Torah. These ideologies, religions, cultural influences, and false gods had just as much an impact on Jabez's world as they have on ours today. Jabez was not very PC praying to Yahweh, the God of Israel. The influence of our secular society has given rise to a lot of false impressions of God that have had a negative impact on how we relate to God. Ideas like other religions are just as valid as Christianity. You can't reduce God, the God of the resurrection, to a dead teacher or false prophet. That's not who God is. I was talking to a woman who had racked up a pile of credit card debt and announced that God was going to deliver her from debt. That's not who God is. You reap what you sow. He's not a God of cheap grace, comfortable religion, or games and gimmicks. He's the God of Scripture, the God who spoke light into darkness, breathed life into man, redeemed him from the fall, rose from the dead, loves people, hates sin, will judge the living and the dead, and has a plan to work it all out for your good if you will love him, seek him, serve him, and trust that only in him can you be transformed.